Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're on. Good. So great. I'm here today with Romek Lubaczewski. It's early April 2020, in the midst of the COVID crisis. Romek, I guess you're in Krakow, right?
I am indeed in my home. This is the first shirt I've worn in 5 weeks. And I only put it on for you, Tom.
Appreciate that very much. So we're just continuing with our series of conversations every couple of weeks with SSC directors and other people from the sector about what's going on. Of course, the latest focus is more on the COVID and the coronavirus.
Sure.
But I wanted just to kind of get some of your feedback and your comments. You're talking to guys all over the world. How is this changing the SSC sector? Is there any positive news coming out of it? But just give me a little bit of your perspective, what you're hearing in the last couple of weeks.
Tom, I'm bombarded with information, and the good news is it's varied, and it's almost two ends of the same stick, which is great, which means probably we're going to end up in the middle, which I would hope would be best. As much as I'm hearing about this could be the end of our industry because we're now working out ways to do it all remotely, and now we could do it all back in the US and maybe it's safe, etc. I'm hearing as many clients of mine, senior people, saying this is proving that you don't need a guy in the New York office. You can have them remotely in Krakow or in India or anywhere else in the world. So the question marks going off in their heads, do we need 1,000 people in London and Paris and New York? Or could they be somewhere cheaper, same intelligence level, same skill set? I mean, it's a great question. Answer, I don't know. I really don't know. There's also a big topic around, is this the time that we should be automating as much as possible because we've got this problem? I think that in a way, of course, that's true, but that was true before as well. I mean, you're paying a person or paying a robot, the robot you pay him once and that's it, you never pay them again in a way. I think that hasn't changed. Where I think there is a little bit of a misunderstanding is you can't really robotize the process when the person's sitting at home. It's not that easy to do. It's very collaborative. It's very difficult to do, and I'm not sure we're going to be able to automate so much in the world we're in right now, meaning everyone's sitting in their own home.
Right, and the digitalization, however, though, that's got to be everything. I mean, anyone that got caught flat-footed, not fully digital, has got to be absolutely in trouble at this point.
But then again, you, of course, you're right. I think some of my clients are being far more challenged at the front of their business, meaning how they sell, rather than how they account for it. So I'm not always sure that the biggest impact on businesses right now is in the back office.
Okay.
A few of my clients have taken people out of the back office who were working from home and asked them to go out and help with logistics and delivery and things like this, which is fantastic. The businesses are steaming forward in a different way. We're still going to have to do all of the accounting. We're still going to have to do all of the HR and payroll and all of this stuff. So that still needs to happen. But I think that many companies are facing a problem now in actually delivering product and keeping us all fed, which is, again, quite an important thing for business.
Yeah. So in the case of looking at revenue declines in some of the large corporates globally, I mean, they must be under huge pressure to get further cost control and, of course, working capital, because they got in that working capital chain money tied up. Is that coming up as a discussion point?
It is, Tom. It's really interesting as well, because again, it's a little bit industry by industry. So let me give you, one end of that industry focus. Think of the airlines, and you've got a 10,000 person hub for an airline. I mean, what the hell are they going to be doing for the next year of workload? No one's going to fly anywhere, so there's no processing to be done.
Right.
So that in that center, there's going to be very little work. So, and it's not that the airline is going to be letting people go because they got less work. The whole business has gone south. So it's not higher proportion of back office to front office. It's going to be very proportional across the whole business. It's going to take years, a year for the airline industry to come back to anything like they were before. So what happens for that year? I'll be honest, I don't think the centers that run back office for industries which are going to be really in a great difficult for the next 12 months. I do not believe they're going to keep all the staff on board. I don't know how they can do it. I just don't know what workload there is. And then we're going to face other industries which are obviously fast moving consumer goods and food. They're going to be booming or doing as well as before.
E-tech, digital,
Yeah, and again, you can argue the fact that lots of the technology stuff is done at home anyway. Lots of these guys work from home. Many of them don't want to work with other people. They actually like being on their own. So, yeah, I think there's a bit of a yin and a yang. But the net, Tom, I cannot believe the net is going to be zero. It's going to be negative. There's going to be less of everything in total, and that will impact our industry as much as every other industry, unfortunately. Would I be worried right now? No, I think there are other worries rather than back office. I think the front office is going to be most businesses' headache in the next 6 months.
And in terms of any new centers moving in, I mean, is it just a conversation over for the moment, or is anyone looking at set up anything new? And if they do, how would they do that? How would they actually do that? Not plus transition.
Yeah. The great question is, I'm in the middle of 5 centres being built right now, and they're all going ahead. They're going ahead at a different pace and in a different structure. To be frank, that's why I'm so busy. I'm busier now than ever because we have to rework methodology and rework problems which we didn't know were coming, never experienced before. I've been 25 years doing this. I'm hitting stuff I've never even heard of. So how do we solve them is very different. The answer isn't from the top of my head or go and find a presentation from 5 years ago. We have to work through new methodology, which is great. It's really interesting, but quite tiring. And so I think the challenges are just different, which as usually is good and bad. Yeah.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah. The other part of it, so going back to your question, is anyone new coming in? We are talking to clients. I'll be honest, there's 2 big issues with opening a centre right now, and they're pretty obvious what they are. One is recruitment. Recruitment is very difficult to do in the last layer, meaning you can recruit over the phone to a certain point, but would you hire a general manager or a HR lead based on 3 telephone interviews?
Right.
The answer is no. You need to meet the people and see them face to face, kind of get that physical, attributes and positive feeling about a person by meeting them. So I think that's an issue. And the other one, Tom, is really interesting is, when you have a new centre, you need real estate. So, I walk around buildings all the time. To go and choose which office, I need to walk around it. And then maybe virtual reality is one of the answers. I think, before you go and commit to $5 million worth of real estate, you kind of want to walk the floor, I would think, the real floor, not a virtual floor.
Yeah. And in terms of those real estate office costs, I mean, what is the word on the street in terms of?
That's an interesting one. Yeah, I think there's 2 really big angles on this. And I'm smiling because I really don't know what's going to happen, but it's a very interesting topic. Is number one is, my office, PWC, there's no one there. I mean, we have one girl and one of the guys go in, and I think we were 2 people pretty much every day. People go in, varied. I've been in there a couple of times, but generally we have no one there. We're going to have to ask ourselves the question, PWC, do we need an office for 150 people having 150 people? Should we have 50 people when we've proven we can all work from home? So if every business is going to ask that question, right? Then you've got the other problem, which is businesses are going to be turning to their landlords and saying, I've had no revenue for 3 months. Can you help me with my rent? So you're going to have rent decreases, I believe. You're going to have challenges of people actually trying to reduce space. So medium term, meaning next 2 to 3 years, I think we're going to end up with a glut of office space. Great for my guys, not so good for the guys building, owning the buildings.
Yeah, good. Okay, well, I'm trying to keep these conversations to maximum 10 minutes. Any last pearls of wisdom or comments as we sign off? Listen,
I think this is a challenge, and it's a unique one for everybody. No one's ever been here before. I think what we've got to do is work hard individually to do one thing, and I think this is really important. Please keep in contact with your guys out there. Ring everyone. Everyone in your team, your closest team that you would normally see on the average week, make sure you call them every week, check they're okay. Hearing your voice and you hearing their voice is very important. You need to still feel connected, and they need to feel loved and connected.
Yeah.
And most importantly of all, if you hear that something's a bit troublesome and people are in trouble, there's a worry, this is your opportunity that they may need you to go and deliver food to them, or their mum's ill and you live closer to their mum. I don't know what it is. But please keep in contact with your people, because we're a people industry. It's all we have. The only asset we have of our people. So stay connected. you know, and show you care, because you should care. This is really important. I ring my guys every day. Are you okay? How's it going? Everyone keeps saying yeah, which I'm really glad about. But let's keep doing that.
Yeah, great. Wise words. We'll sign off with that. Thanks, Romek, for your time, and talk to you soon.
Thank you very much. See you guys. Keep safe.
Good. Okay, video over. Cool. 10 minutes, 9 minutes, 9.5 minutes. Perfect.
And it was me thinking I'd be really good to keep it to 7. He said 7 at the beginning. I think I'll be good.
Easy to go on, right? It really is.